Seniors, stop. Never refrigerate these 9 foods. Here's why. Have you ever opened your fridge and wondered, am I storing this food the right way? You're not alone. In fact, millions of people, especially older adults, unknowingly keep common foods in the refrigerator, thinking it helps them stay fresh. But the truth is, it might actually be harming their health. According to the CDC, foodborne illnesses affect nearly 1 in 6 Americans every year. And seniors? We're hit the hardest. Why? Because as we age, our immune systems get weaker. Our digestion slows down. Our bodies can't fight off bacteria the way they used to. That means something as simple as storing a tomato or a piece of garlic the wrong way can lead to serious consequences. Like stomach infections, chronic inflammation, even hospital visits. You might think, oh, I've always kept that in the fridge, what's the big deal? But let me ask you this. Have you been feeling more bloated lately? Maybe your joints ache a little more. Maybe your stomach feels off after certain meals. Or your energy just isn't what it used to be. You might be blaming age. But what if it's your fridge? I'm serious. Because here's the scary part no one's telling you. Certain foods, when refrigerated, don't just lose nutrients, they can grow harmful bacteria, mess with your blood sugar, or even make you sick over time. And when you're over 60, your body doesn't bounce back like it did at 30. This isn't just about freshness. It's about your gut health, your brain clarity, your safety. And the worst part? No one warned us. Your doctor probably didn't mention this. Nutrition labels don't say a word. And yet, these 9 foods, most of which are in your kitchen right now, are quietly working against you every day. Think about that for a second. What if one small habit, one simple mistake, was slowly draining your energy, weakening your immunity, or making your arthritis worse? And you never knew it. Because you thought you were doing the right thing. But don't worry, it's not too late to fix it. In just a moment, I'll walk you through the 9 foods you should never refrigerate, and what to do instead to keep your body safe, strong, and sharp, no matter your age. So before you open that fridge again, listen close. Your health might depend on it. So before you open that fridge again, listen close. Your health might depend on it. Let's start with the very first food that should never be stored cold. Number 9, tomatoes. Now I know what you're thinking. Tomatoes? Really? They've been sitting in your fridge drawer for years, haven't they? But here's what most people don't realize. Refrigerating tomatoes doesn't just dull their flavor, it actually destroys their nutrients. One of the most powerful compounds in a tomato is lycopene, an antioxidant that protects your heart, lowers your risk of stroke, and even helps your skin stay youthful. But when you refrigerate a tomato, lycopene levels drop. The tomato becomes mealy, lifeless, and far less beneficial for your health. And when you're older, when your heart needs more support, not less, this tiny nutrient loss can make a big difference over time. So what's the right move? Store your tomatoes at room temperature, stem side down. Not only will they ripen properly, they'll retain their flavor and their healing power. You've probably kept them cold to make them last. But that well-meaning habit? It's robbing you of the anti-aging benefits your body could be using right now. Number 8, bananas. This one surprises almost everyone. Bananas look fine in the fridge, don't they? But the cold does something sneaky. It shuts down the natural enzymes that help them ripen. And instead, it causes a chemical reaction that spikes their sugar content. That might not sound like a big deal at first. But for seniors, especially those managing blood sugar issues or prediabetes, this sudden sugar rush can be a real problem. It can trigger crashes in energy, fuzzy thinking, even dizziness. Plus, refrigerated bananas turn black on the outside while staying hard and underripe on the inside. You lose the texture, the sweetness, and the fiber your gut actually needs. Here's what to do instead. Keep them in a fruit bowl, away from direct sunlight. And if you want a slow ripening, wrap the stems in foil. It's a simple trick that works wonders. Bananas are a fantastic food for seniors, rich in potassium for your muscles and nerves. But only when they're ripened the right way, and that never happens in the fridge. Number 7, bread. Let's talk about something that's on almost every kitchen counter or fridge shelf. Bread. Now, many people think putting bread in the fridge keeps it fresh longer. But that's a myth. In fact, cold air does the opposite. It dries bread out faster, making it go stale much quicker than if it were left at room temperature. That hard, dry texture. It's more than just unpleasant. For seniors, it's a choking risk. Especially if you wear dentures, have reduced saliva production, or experience difficulty swallowing. Which, by the way, is incredibly common as we age. What starts as a slice of toast can turn into a hazard. And I don't say that to scare you, I say it because this is one of those everyday risks we don't talk about. So what should you do instead? Keep your bread in a bread box, or freeze it if you're not going to use it within a few days. Freezing protects the freshness without drying it out. And you can thaw only what you need. It's safer, softer, and easier on your digestion. Your mornings will feel better. And you'll lower the risk of something as serious as choking, just by changing where you store your bread. Number 6, coffee. This one might come as a surprise. But if you're keeping your coffee in the fridge, it's time to stop. Now, I get it, coffee smells rich and comforting, and it seems logical to keep it cold so it lasts longer. But here's what most people don't know. Refrigerator moisture is your coffee's worst enemy. Every time you open and close the fridge, humidity sneaks into the bag or container. That moisture starts breaking down the oils that give coffee its flavor. Worse, it creates a breeding ground for mold. And for older adults, mold exposure isn't just unpleasant. It can be dangerous. Even small amounts of mold in food can worsen fatigue, increase brain fog, and strain your immune system. Not to mention the long-term effects on your lungs and sinuses if you're already sensitive. So if you enjoy your daily cup of coffee, and you want it to support your health, not drain it, here's the better option. Store it in an airtight container, away from heat and light, in a cool, dry cabinet. That one switch keeps your coffee fresher, your flavor fuller, and your body safer. A warm cup of coffee should give you energy, not take it away. And that starts with storing it right. Number 5, potatoes. Now let's talk about something that probably shows up on your dinner plate more than once a week. Potatoes. Comfort food, right? They're hearty, filling, and easy to cook. But here's what most people don't know. Putting your potatoes in the fridge actually makes them less healthy. Why? Because the cold air turns the natural starches in a potato into sugar. Now for a younger body, that might not be such a big deal. But for seniors, especially those watching their blood sugar levels, managing prediabetes, or even just trying to avoid those sudden energy crashes, this tiny shift in starch can have a big impact. Your body processes it faster. Your blood sugar spikes. And over time, it chips away at your energy, your mood, even your heart health. So what's the better choice? Store your potatoes in a paper bag, in a cool, dark pantry, not the fridge. No plastic bags. No light. No cold. Just simple, breathable storage. Potatoes, when kept right, can actually support your energy. They're a steady, stable source of fuel, good for your brain, your muscles, and your stamina. But only if you let them stay whole and natural. The fridge? That just turns them into a sugar bomb in disguise. So the next time you're reaching into your crisper drawer, pause. That potato might belong somewhere else. Number 4, onions. Now this one's tricky, because onions feel like a fridge food. They've got layers, they make your eyes water, and people assume cold keeps the smell down. But here's the truth. Cold air doesn't help onions. It hurts them. In the fridge, onions absorb moisture like a sponge. They get soft, slimy, and eventually, they mold. Instead of lasting longer, they rot faster. And if you've ever pulled out an onion, only to find it mushy and leaking from the inside, you've already seen the damage. But there's something even more important for seniors. Mold and spoilage in onions can trigger respiratory irritation, especially for those with asthma, sinus sensitivity, or weakened immunity. So how should you store them? In a dark, dry basket, somewhere cool, like a pantry or cupboard. And this next part is important. Keep them away from potatoes. Why? Because potatoes release moisture and gases that make onions spoil faster. It's like a bad relationship. They just don't do well together. Here's a myth to bust. Cold keeps onions fresh. Nope. Not true. It makes them moldy, soggy, and far more likely to go to waste. And if you're cooking for one or two, trying to make your groceries stretch, the last thing you want is to throw out food because of improper storage. So let your onions breathe. Give them space. And keep the fridge for what belongs in the fridge. Your health, and your meals, will thank you. Number 3, honey. Now this next one. It's sweet, but it comes with a surprising twist. Honey. If you've been keeping your honey in the refrigerator, I get it. You probably thought you were preserving it, keeping it clean, safe, long-lasting. But here's what actually happens. Cold temperatures cause honey to crystallize. It turns thick, gritty, harder to pour, harder to use. But more than that, it starts losing the natural enzymes that make it such a powerful healing food. Enzymes that help with digestion, that soothe sore throats, that even support immune function. And the beauty of honey is, it doesn't need refrigeration. Ever. Properly stored in a sealed jar, honey never spoils. Literally. Archaeologists have found jars of honey in ancient Egyptian tombs, still perfectly edible after thousands of years. That's not just a food. That's longevity. So if you want to get the most from your honey, keep it sealed, in your cupboard, away from sunlight and heat. And next time you drizzle it into your tea, or stir it into some oats, remember. You're not just enjoying something sweet. You're tapping into a natural medicine that's been trusted for centuries. But only if you treat it right. Number 2, garlic. Now let's talk garlic. Sharp, pungent, powerful. It's not just flavor, it's medicine in your kitchen. But, and this is a big but, if you're storing your garlic in the fridge, you're actually damaging it. Cold, damp air causes garlic to do two things. Sprout and mold. And when garlic sprouts, its texture changes. It becomes bitter, rubbery. And most importantly, it may start to work against your health. Here's something not many people know. Sprouted garlic can raise cholesterol levels. For seniors already keeping an eye on heart health, that matters. Every little edge counts. And garlic, when fresh and properly stored, is a natural support for healthy blood pressure and circulation. But not if it's gone bad. So here's what you do. Store it in a mesh bag, or a basket, at room temperature. Let it breathe. Keep it dry. Avoid plastic, avoid sealed containers, and definitely avoid the fridge. Your garlic will last longer. Taste better. And most of all, support your health the way it was meant to. Number 1, avocados, if unripe. And finally, we've reached the top of the list. The food that gets misunderstood more than almost any other. Avocados. Now, this one's tricky, because it depends on when you refrigerate them. If your avocados are still unripe, green, hard, and firm, putting them in the fridge is a mistake. Cold air stops the ripening process. Freezes it in place. You're left with an avocado that's tough, bitter, and nearly impossible to digest. And here's why that matters. Avocados are one of the best foods for aging brains and joints. They're rich in healthy fats, vitamin K, folate, nutrients that support memory, reduce inflammation, and help keep you moving freely. But only if they're ripe. Only if they're soft, creamy, and ready to eat. So what should you do? Store them on the counter until they give slightly when pressed. Only once they're ripe should you move them into the fridge, and only to slow them down if you're not eating them right away. That's the balance. That's the key. A ripe avocado can nourish your body. An unripe, cold one, it just ends up wasted. So next time you're at the store, or at home unpacking your groceries, pause. Feel the texture. Check the color. Let your avocados ripen the right way. And your body will thank you with sharper focus, smoother joints, and better energy throughout the day. So if you want to protect your digestion, if you're looking to keep your mind sharp, and if maintaining your independence means something to you, start with something simple. Your fridge. It might seem like just a place to keep things cold. But for millions of older adults, it's become a silent trap. Holding foods that are robbing you of nutrients, dulling your energy, and putting your gut under stress. We've covered 9 everyday foods. Not exotic items. Not supplements. Just real, common foods that you probably already have in your kitchen. Tomatoes. Bananas. Bread. Coffee. Potatoes. Onions. Honey. Garlic. And unripe avocados. Each one carries a small but powerful message. How you store it matters. And how you treat your food is how you treat your body. Because it's not just about what you eat. It's about how that food supports your body after you eat it. Your gut health. Your immune system. Your blood sugar. Your energy and focus. They're all connected. And these little habits, the ones we often overlook, they either move you closer to thriving, or they slowly chip away at your strength. But the beauty is, you're not powerless. You can start today. You can open your fridge, make a few smart shifts, and feel the benefits ripple through every part of your life. Because small changes, especially the ones that become daily habits, they lead to big wins over time. And when you're fueling your body the right way, you're not just avoiding illness. You're building something better. Resilience. Clarity. Vitality. And a life that supports you for years to come. Which of these foods surprised you the most? Was it something simple, like bread or bananas? Or maybe it was honey, something you've trusted for years, but never knew could lose its magic in the cold. Take a moment, go check your fridge today. Not tomorrow. Today. Because the truth is, every one of us has habits we picked up along the way. Habits that made sense at the time, but don't serve us anymore. And that's okay. You didn't do anything wrong. You were trying to preserve your food. To do what's best. But now you know better. And that means you can do better. You deserve to thrive at every age. To wake up with energy. To feel light in your step, calm in your gut, and clear in your mind. And believe it or not, it starts right there in your kitchen. Not with more pills. Not with fancy diets. But with simple, wise choices about how you care for the food that cares for you. Because your health, it's not a project. It's a journey. And every good choice adds up. So take that first step. Maybe it's moving your onions out of the fridge. Maybe it's letting those avocados ripen on the counter. Or maybe, just maybe, it's realizing that you're still learning, and still growing. And that's something worth celebrating. If this helped you, if you learned even one new thing today, please tap that like button. It tells us you're with us. That you care about your health. That you're part of this community. Hit subscribe, too, because here on Thriving Age Tip, we're not about slowing down. We're about stepping into the best years of your life. Armed with knowledge, supported by science, and wrapped in encouragement. And if you know someone, maybe a friend, a neighbor, a spouse, who keeps their bananas in the fridge and never knew it mattered, share this with them. You might just help them avoid a health issue before it starts. Tell us in the comments where you're watching from. We love hearing from our thriving community around the world. You're not alone on this path. You're surrounded by others, just like you, choosing wisdom, vitality, and strength. One habit at a time. This is Thriving Age Tip, and we're honored to walk this journey with you. Here's to living better, longer, and stronger. We'll see you in the next one. Take care. And don't forget, check your fridge.